All right, here we are, live. Feeling good about today. I feel great about today's show. Yeah, what's up, buddy? You're a firefighter. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's get everybody going here. YouTube Live, Saturday morning, Metallica spectacular. Someone's gonna be very happy today. All right. Next. All right. 26. Publish. We're a little bit late. Better late than never. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get this thing going on Facebook. Live video. Saturday morning. Metallica spectacular. All right.
When I leave, I'm going to go to a nap. When I leave, I'm going to go to a nap. And then we wake up.
All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're just gonna have a fun, like 90-minute chat about pinball. But you know why? If you're here today, 47 people, 47 reasons why everyone's excited about this Metallica giveaway. I'm excited to get someone Metallica for basically MSRP, 13 grand. All right. I know I worded it like I was giving someone a Metallica, but this is your best bet to get one. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Let me open up Audacity right now. And we got 3 things going. This is amazing. I got people on Facebook. I got people on YouTube. And I've got the best community in all of pinball, just trying to do something good for the audience and for the community. It's interesting, no good deed goes unpunished. It's amazing to me how even after doing this, people are like, oh, you're just doing a marketing stunt. Yeah, okay, cool. Marketing stunt for what? For another $5 a month from like 4 people that joined the show since I announced this giveaway of a spot. It's not a giveaway of a game. It's a giveaway of a spot at MSRP. All right, let's do this. Stop. So welcome everybody to the Canada Saturday morning Metallica Spectacular. One lucky club member who is a member of the Canada Club is going to get a chance to buy a Metallica Ellie remastered for MSRP. The rules are very simple. You have to have been a Canada Club member before entering. You have to give me your name and phone number, and then you have to pick up your phone when we pull your name out of a hat. I'm looking at right now a list of names. I've got something like 47 names here. I'm not going to show you the numbers so you can start prank calling my club members, but it's going to be a fun day. Thank you, Brian Kaz is here. Lord Olaf. I mean, we got people from all over the world. We've got some people on Facebook. We've got some people on YouTube. We're doing it both ways. I wanted to open this up to everybody. So this show today is a special show because it's not behind any paywall. I want everybody to see this goodwill gesture. I think it's good. I heard your feedback when I went to go flip this game for a profit just to see where the market was. People lost their mind. They absolutely lost their mind. They're like, you're not allowed to, Canada, make a few bucks on a scalp of a game. I get it. I get it. Everyone was happy to see me lose like $2,000 on Toy Story, $1,000 on Ultraman. For those of us in the pinball space, speculating on games and their value is an age-old tradition. I don't know what the big deal is. What's the big deal? Like if I buy Netflix stock at 200 and it goes up to 400 or 500 or 600, do I have to sell it to you at 200? Yeah, I guess you do in the pinball world. But I do understand that with this audience and with my voice in this hobby, I do have a responsibility to set an example. And I think everyone is kind of over sort of like the world of scalping and flipping and, making money that way, sort of taking the game from someone who's a fan who really wants it. So I heard that. I heard that loud and clear. Now, if you're on Facebook, you can come over to the YouTube channel. It is also public. Let me post it in the page too, so people know they can go there. Let me just go on Facebook right now and let everybody know we're also on YouTube. And we're going to have some fun today. We're going to also talk about what's going on in the hobby because we're not doing the drawing until 11 o'clock. So I am hopefully Killian will be back from the supermarket because I would love for him to be the one who pulls the name out of the hat. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're also on YouTube. Yay! Let's post that. And we might have a surprise guest join the show today. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So thanks. What I shared about Back to the Future. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about everything going on in pinball. It's what we do on Canada's Pinball Podcast. Super happy to spend that time at Expo and meet people and hear rumors and sort of get ready for the next wave of games in pinball. And I think everyone is sort of feeling that right now. Like we're kind of in that little bit of a limbo period. Avatar hasn't really caught on. People are not loving the game and ordering it left and right. Unless your name's Joe Abadi, you're not going to bat for Avatar. As you know, I think the game just needs to wake up in the software department. I think Keith Johnson has coded a game that has a lot, I think, in it, but I don't think it has a lot of feels and a lot of emotion and a lot of energy and a lot of excitement. And I think the challenge with Avatar now, when you start making all those inserts, sort of like the Navi language, like nobody knows what you're talking about, right? Nobody knows. Ooh, wah, 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 multi-ball. It's like all these weird names, and we just don't click with the vernacular of Avatar the way we do with Star Wars, right? If I'm doing Beggar's Run or Millennium Falcon, we're going to sort of Dagobah, right? Those things matter. I don't even think like the Hallelujah Mountains make anybody feel anything. And I also think the game just didn't put mechanical wow in it at all. I think the lower play fields are underwhelming. I think that there should have been more of a upper play field, Hallelujah Mountains sort of. I think they should have done something similar to the Star Wars hyperdrive, right? Like they should have had something where it felt like you were getting on a Banshee and you were flying around Pandora. And so much of the game is just not right translating that. So look, the consumers are speaking. It's not just Canada. I think a lot of people out there are realizing too that, those $15,000 CEs of Avatar are going to be closer to $10,000, especially as we go into the spring of next year and Harry Potter's coming out. So I keep telling everybody, look, if you like Avatar, just wait. They're going to make 1,000 of those CEs and you're going to be able to pick one up at a wholesale price. And why wouldn't you just, if you really want an Avatar CE, why wouldn't you just wait and save $3,000 to $5,000? Now, a tale of two games, because the one game that's going in the opposite direction is Metallica Ellie. This game is probably the best Stern launch since Godzilla. I think the demand for Metallica Remastered LE is actually greater than the demand was for Godzilla. I think only making 500 was a very smart move by Stern Pinball. In just one move, they've restored sort of the FOMO and the frenzy and the excitement around in LE. And they really needed to do that, right? We hadn't felt that with John Wick. We didn't feel it with Venom. Jaws was all right, but not really hard. It was not hard to get a Jaws LE. Now I'm seeing Jaws LEs, sell for 12, 11.5. They're losing value. There's just no way around it. They're losing value. But Metallica Ellie, I don't think it's ever going to sell for less than 13. I've had offers north of 17,000 for the game I'm about to give someone here for 13. You know, it's interesting. And I just want to just say this for the record. I literally left $5,000 on the table with this game. Okay. I charge people $5 a month to do a podcast. Okay. So, and when you sell a game like this, like you're not declaring these things on your taxes when you do a scalp, right? So legitimately, one sale of a Metallica Ellie for me is equivalent to all the hard work I do over 2 months, right? Because I have to pay the government with my taxes on Patreon. 2 months worth of work I could have made up in one flip of Metallica, and everybody got mad. So I just want to say I'm doing the right thing. You know, it's not lost on me how much money, dealers and distros can make. You come on, there's dealers out there, gang, who are holding some of these back. And in a month or two, oh, look what I got. New in box, Metallica Ellie, $19,000. And that's what's going to happen. Look, and Stern can't stop it. It's a market adjusted price. And I would say the market price on this game is north of $17,000 right now. And look, I think it's a good thing because I think most people who buy it aren't going to sell it. I think most people who buy this game are big fans. They were fans of the original. I think the value of the originals is going to go down for sure. And as I told my friends at Stern Pinball, I think next time they do this, the smart move would have been to try to identify diehard Metallica fans who bought the original one and still own it after 12 years. Those people should have had first dibs at the new game. I think a lot of them sort of waited on the sideline and pretended their Dirty Donnie version is nicer. It's not. And now it's too late for a lot of them. I think they all should have listened to Kaneda and just got their name on a list. Look, if you got one and you just listened to me, I just handed you $5,000. It legitimately, there's no other way to cut this. I just handed you a $5,000 stock tip that you could exercise all day long. So you're welcome. And I think people got confused about my wait and see sort of approach to pinball. Yeah, wait and see on almost everything. I always say this, on almost everything. But don't wait and see on a super hot game like this because you're going to get locked out. You're going to regret it. And the only way you're going to be able to get one is if you spend more money. And that's where we're at right now with Metallica Ellie. I think the game is great. I think it's beautiful. I also think people need to realize that Spike 3 is coming. So when Spike 3 comes and Spike 3 enhances, what a Stern experience is, better sound, better lights, better screen, better everything, better internet connectivity, everything's going to be better. I think that's going to knock Metallica down a little bit, right? I think people are going to have hoped it would have been the first Spike 3 game. It was planned to be the first Spike 3 game, but they didn't have it ready in time. I still think Spike 3, King Kong, Keith Elwin is what's going to happen. And Brian Eddy's Dungeons and Dragons will be next. We talked on my show this week about Back to the Future and how Dutch Pinball would have a Herculean task to fulfill the demand, for the orders they would get for Back to the Future. Yes, Dutch has been talking to Stern, to Jersey Jack. They've been seen in the building. And you know me, I think Stern should make the game. I think Barry would be a hero. And I think that's the right thing to do. I don't think Jersey Jack would make a better Back to the Future than Stern. And if Stern had one of their amazing designers like Danger or Elwin do it, I think a modern day classic would be born. If Jersey Jack did it, I just don't know. Like maybe Steve Ritchie would be the one to go with. But I'm not sure, even with Steve, Elton John is kind of a recycled idea of older games. We haven't seen Steve really wow us in a really long time. He played a safe bet with Elton. It's a bet that worked. It's a great game. It's the best shooting Jersey Jack game of all time, but it's just the way it goes. I want to see Steve, sort of like do something along the lines of AC/DC again, or, something along the lines. I'm trying to think of like the last Richie game that I was like, wow, I just think Elwyn's so good. I think Danger is just so good. So someone says JJP actually puts the money in, though. I think JJP will surprise us with a killer mech with Harry Potter and Back to the Future. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's yet to be seen. What's the killer mech in Toy Story? What's the killer mech in The Godfather? What's the killer mech in Elton John? What's the killer mech in Avatar? You could even argue what's the killer mech in Guns N' Roses. I don't think Jersey Jack has made a killer mech since Pirates of the Caribbean. That's 6 years ago, gang. That's 5 games ago. And so I just don't see it. Like, I just don't see Jersey Jack engineering these killer mech games. And I've lost faith that they will do that. I mean, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3, 4, 5 times now. And it is a little confusing to me with the amount of money and the amount of resources they have, that Jersey Jack isn't running circles around everybody else when it comes to mechs, when it comes to like exciting things. So, that's where we're at. I'm going to move my Facebook camera over here. Let's get everything in one shot. How's that? That looks better. Okay, because I got the sun coming in. I'm going to go up to the side just a little bit. There we go. Everything's good. We got Neo Geo. We got Pulsar going on the Neo Geo SC14. We're going to go like this so you can see a little bit more Neo. I love my setup. I'm on my living room table, and I've got the names, people. The names, you're like, Kaneda, shut up. Like, let's get to this drawing. You're going to get your name put in a hat. We've got my Kaneda hat. And let's read out the names. I got to cut these suckers up because I didn't do that yet. So I want to do this real quick and wish everybody a sort of good luck on this. Well, let's do this in 10 minutes. I'll do this in 10 minutes because we've got 40 minutes to go before we do the drawing. Here's my take on everything happening in pinball. Prices are still sky high, right? They're really high. Jersey Jack, Harry Potter is I think, going to be the moment in which they either nail it, or I kind of feel like it's a nail in the coffin for these guys, because and I think the requirements to do Harry Potter right are going to come down to the assets and how they translate Harry Potter into pinball. And I think what people are worried about, does it have the movie assets? And if it does, and they don't sync up the clips with the film scenes, I'm done. I said it. I'm not buying another Jersey Jack machine where the voices and the sound effects are not synced up with the clips. I just won't do it. It's like a little bit of Godfather has it, but not a lot. Willy Wonka doesn't have it. Guns N' Roses has it. Guns N' Roses, to me, I think there's a reason why Guns N' Roses sold like 5,000-6,000 units. It's kind of perfect. Say what you will about the layout. I get it. It's a little bit more of a stop and go game. It doesn't have the flow of a Stern. But when you really understand GNR and you understand like how to set up the game right and how to achieve things, so when you start a song, you've got everything ready to go. You collect the band members, you get to band frenzy, you get to encore. There's always a great moment in Guns N' Roses whenever you play it where you're trying to get to the applause jackpot, right? It's very similar to the Eclipse jackpot in Avatar. You build it all up during the song, and then you got to hit that shot as the song is ending, and it's awesome. And if you hit it, you go to encore, and then you play another song from that album, and the crowd's cheering, and the lights are going. It's great. It's a great moment. I mean, I love playing my Guns N' Roses. I'm never selling it. Yeah, I get it. The market has sort of fallen out from underneath it simply because they made too many. I think Jersey Jack overproduced the game for sure. Harry Potter, I know, is a monster theme, but as a holder fantasy nerd, it doesn't hit for me. The thing about Potter is this. Like, let's be honest, people. Like, how many adults our age are we really the Potter demographic? I'm not. I mean, I didn't read the books. I saw all the movies, but like Potter to me was like movies that I saw and I didn't need to see them again. Like I saw everyone. I saw everyone in the theater and they were enjoyable. I was entertained. I thought the actors were great. I thought they brought that world to life in such a good way. But it doesn't stick with me culturally the way Han Solo does, or Luke Skywalker, or Optimus Prime, or Galvatron and Megatron. It just doesn't. I just He-Man. Like I don't know. When I think about things that the moment I see them or hear them, it awakens something in me. And look, I'm not saying that some people, yeah, they're all in on Potter. I just don't know if the 40 to 60-year-old demographic is as into it as people think. So we shall see. Look, I'm more into Goonies and Back to the Future. I'm more into Cobra Kai, Karate Kid. I'm more into Die Hard, Total Recall. Give me a Von Damme game. Give me Big Trouble in Little China. Give me Fifth Element. Give me Matrix. Like, these are the things that, like, all right, they have much more connection with me. I mean, from what I can tell, Harry Potter, like Voldemort, like it's just this long, drawn out narrative or him versus evil, how he got the scar on his head. And it's cute, it's campy, it's fun, it's good. But I'm just not sure that people are gonna, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be based on the movies. It feels like a Herculean task to take all those like 8 or 9 movies and make it a pinball machine. I mean, Keith already just makes 1 or 2 movies into a ginormous Chinese diner menu of how to play a game. I feel like our heads are going to be spinning with how much Jersey Jack tries to cram into Harry Potter. So, I've sort of like love where we're all at now in pinball, because I think the community, for the most part, is really connected. I think a lot of the newbies who came in during COVID, I think they've all been burned, right? I think they've all learned a lesson. I see these guys, you know who they are. I don't have to name names, but they came into pinball during COVID. They got bit by the bug. They bought every game as it came out, and then they sold games and made humongous losses on their spreadsheet. And they didn't even play the games that much. They didn't enjoy the games nearly enough to take the losses that they took. And the little dirty secret about the hobby that we're all in right now, gang, is that there's thousands of unsold games. And one of the show topics I'm going to be discussing over the next few weeks, as we think about what do you do with all that unsold inventory, something's got to give, right? This map pricing model, it's again, like, it's not working. Like, you got these dealers with Venom LEs in box. I know a dealer that's got 100 GNR LEs in a box. And the thing is, they can't publicly list these games for sale. I think the pinball industry needs to more reflect a car dealership where, last year's model is discounted, right? And 2 years ago, even more discounted. Guns N' Roses is almost a 4-year-old model of a pinball machine. And, if Jersey Jack is telling dealers you can't advertise GNR for less than 10.5, but the market value for one is 7,500, I think it gets a little silly. And then dealers have to have their friends list the games for sale, and it's all disingenuous a little bit. Or dealers have to open up the game and stream it and then sell it used. We see that a lot, like streaming a game and then, because they have to, because they're not allowed to sell it at a discount. The only company I saw put their games on sale was AP. I mean, we know they need to sell their games and they got to clear out that inventory. The hard part is, like, it's because a company that does it, I think what makes them reluctant to do it, it's admitting that you handed people a loss. So like, let's face it, like Venom LE was 13,000. It's now like a $9,000 LE, like new in box. And I think Stern struggles to sort of, because if you communicate to the early adopters that their game is now worth $4,000 less, they're going to have a fear of commitment of buying future titles from you. I think Venom should have only had 350 LEs. I also told this to my friends at Stern, and I say my friends at Stern because I do think Stern is listening, and I think they need to try different stuff. I don't think every game should have an LE. I mean that. Like, why does every game need an LE? I get the margins are good, this and that, but like, I don't know, like, is there demand? And if you are going to do an LE of a game with low demand like John Wick, 1,000 LEs, well, it's just like a boneheaded move. Like you didn't do any market research. You just put the next title into the same playbook and thought that the defense wouldn't intercept. And man, did the community intercept that move and destroy the value of John Wick LEs. Now, Stern making old titles, Chad just said this on Facebook. I think, what we've seen with Metallica, I think has people super excited, super nervous at the same time. If you own a Tron LE right now, and this is what I'm really imploring that George and Seth really think about. If you own a Tron LE right now, you're part of a special club. I believe they only made 400 Tron LEs. I think Tron was 400, not 500. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. I'm pretty good at my pinball history. I'm pretty good. Sometimes when I talk to people at Stern, I'm like, I'm telling them what they did. They're like, no, I don't even think they were numbered. Yeah, they were numbered. Sometimes they say stuff and I'm like, do you not know your own product history? I think Tron was 400, or was it 500? Someone let me know. Someone here must have one. So the special thing about Tron is when they made Tron LE, there was no premium, right? You got to remember like what that means. It's like, this is it. Like, this is it. So there was 400 and there was no premium, and it had like the fiber optic ramps, and it had an exclusive Daft Punk multi-ball. Now think about Stern since then. Have they ever given people like a real exclusive gameplay experience in the software for buying an LE? And I think that's one of the reasons why Tron LE is so damn like coveted, because it's like you either have that experience, 400 people on the planet have it, and nobody else does. And then you go from the LE to the Pro, and they never screwed over the LE buyers by making premiums. Remember when they did Walking Dead LE and no premium, and they said they were never making premiums, and then they did? Remember what that did to the Walking Dead collectors at that time? And so if Stern is going to make another run, what I would do if I were them is I would do 400 new Trons. I think you got to keep the numbers consistent. I think you got to give original owners a chance to have matching number of games. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't make 1,000, even though the demand is there. Again, just make it special. And what Stern can now do as they see the feeding frenzy for Metallica, I know this is not going to be popular with some people right now, but the truth is this: Metallica LE could have been more than 13 and they still would have sold every one. And in a weird way, they could have priced it, even higher, because it is more special than a John Wick LE or a Venom LE or a James Bond LE and a Foo Fighters LE. I think what they should have done, because now that you've got this, a plethora of games at 1,000 LEs, doesn't 500 become a super LE, right? Just think about that for a minute. Like 500 now is super limited in a world where everything else has 1,000. And so I think they could have done something like that. And I also think, make it a real SLE of Metallica. It should have an exclusive topper. It should come with exclusive songs. It should come with stuff that maybe is just not in the premium of the game. And I think if you did that and you really made it awesome like that, and again, like get James or Lars to do a personal call out, like, are you ready to rock, Canada? Like they could have done that. Like they could have done that the way they did it with, Adam West and Batman with unique call outs. So when people say, please don't encourage higher prices. So Josh, the truth is, I'm just looking at the market, my friend. I'm looking at the market and I'm looking at like who buys these things. And there's an opportunity, and again, Stern's got to find that balancing act. They don't want to charge too much and remove all the secondhand value. What's the agenda? Are we buying as an investment or just buying the game we want? Which is it? It can't be both. Why not, Mark? Mark, I don't understand that. So Mark just said, are we buying it as an investment or are we buying a game we want? It can't be both. Absolutely, it can be both. Mark, why can't you buy a game you really want, play it for a few years, and move it on for a lot of money because it was a good investment at the same time? I really love my Dodge Demon, and it's held value. It's gone up a little bit, but I'm happy that if I ever need the money, right, something could happen in life and I need to free up $100,000, I could go sell it. Versus my friends who just bought electric Porsches and they spent $150,000 on a Taycan GTS and now it's worth like 90. They lost $60,000. We both love cars. We both love what we're driving, but one was just a better investment. I think those two things don't have to be mutually exclusive of each other. They should have only made Metallica Remastered unlimited. No, I don't agree, Louis. I don't agree. I don't know why there's such an anger towards these like collectible versions of things. It's healthy for this hobby. It's been what's pulled Stern through all these years. Stern shouldn't care about the secondhand value. That's not their problem. Make a game and sell it. It's not Stern's problem that people want to make money. This isn't the stock market. Well, it's a market though, pinballer. This is a market. I don't understand why people think this is not an asset. It's an asset. And when you spend north of $10,000 on anything, who doesn't want to get some sort of return on that investment? I think some people, don't get it. Well, look, Trent, if you ever take a ride in a Dodge Demon, you would understand in a heartbeat why the car is worth $100,000. Go inside a $100,000 BMW, Mercedes, Audi, which you can easily get those cars north of 100K, and you won't even have half the thrill of driving a Dodge Demon. Just trust me, man. There's an ignorance in the car world that the Dodge Demon isn't worth the money. And then I take people for rides, and I'm talking about people who have exotics, who have Rolls Royces, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. They get it. Like they get it. It's a special vehicle. And if you're a car enthusiast, you know how to appreciate what each company is putting on the table. If Stern allowed dealers to discount models after years, does that affect the standard production quantities? I don't know. I think not. I think, I think there's a tidal wave coming where there's just so many games in boxes sitting in a warehouse in Chicago. Where are those games going to go? I mean, that's the question. I'm just curious, like, where are they going to go? Who are they going to go to? And when that does happen and we oversaturate the market, I think it's going to be a pretty rough period. And, I think people are just out of room. I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm out of room already. I got maybe room for one more pin upstairs. I could probably sneak one into the garage. But how many of you, like raise of hands, are just out of room, right? You need to sell a game to bring a new one in. And that's probably more of the issue for people than money. Absolutely. And it's harder for operators to make money with games costing so much. So it's an interesting time in pinball. it's an interesting time in pinball. I'll say this, as I get older and hopefully a little bit wiser, and I realize some of the mistakes of a younger version of me, I'm sort of over the whole collecting and having just stuff to flex and thinking that, I don't know, when I see all these guys with less than 200 plays on a game that's been out for like 6-7 years, I don't get it. I don't get it. I drive my car, I play all my Neo Geos. Even the Neo Geos, I bought too many of them. I don't need 3-4 of them. I started to collect all the different cabs, and then I didn't care anymore because the community that loves Neo Geo, they're all bitter a-holes anyway. Like they come at you with jealousy, envy, and hate. Like legitimately, I tried to sell my SC19, which is the bigger version of this, for like $6,500. And everyone on Facebook is telling me I'm an idiot, I'm a moron, that's too much, it's too much for it. And I've got a guy in Kuwait that wants to wire me $11,000 for it. I just don't want to sell it to someone in Kuwait and DHL shipping and customs. I don't want to sell it like that, because if anything happens to it and then he does like a charge back through like eBay and then the eBay fees, and then what? I've got this busted up unit and I'm going to have to deal with, I want someone to pull up here with cash in hand and put it in the back of their truck and take it home and enjoy it. That's that. Who keeps saying we love Trump? Like, well, this is a weird, is this like a spam? Let's get Trent Briggs verified. Who, Trent, you're going, we're moderating you. Okay. We're going to put you on a timeout for 10 minutes because this isn't like a political page. This is a pinball chat. Vote for who you want, people. I think we're kind of in trouble, maybe a little bit either way. It just is what it is. All right, so let's read the names. Let's get them in the hat. Let's read the names. I want to say congratulations to everybody that followed the rules. I told you how to do it. It was very simple. I'm just going to say this. Let's just go down and read all the names, and then I'm going to cut them up and we're going to put them in the hat. How's that sound? All right. All right. So here are your contestants for the Metallica limited edition. This game is coming from, I will connect you with how to get this game afterwards. I'm waiting for Killian to pull the name out of the hat at 11 o'clock. Tentatively, if he's home by then, I will use Brenda's phone to call the winner. And we're going to do it that way. It's going to be fun. I'm not even going to announce the winner. I'm going to call the number first so we can announce the name live as he or she picks up. I don't think there's a single woman on this list. As I always say, women are too smart to drop $13,000 on pinball machines. Did I say anything about Back to the Future? I already talked about it a little bit. Jersey Jack and Stern obviously would love to make the game. I think that I think Stern would be the smarter move. I think Stern can make thousands of them in a year. Jersey Jack couldn't. And I think someone like Elwin would make it. Can you think about it, gang? Would you not want Keith Elwin to make Back to the Future? Who at Jersey Jack would make a better game than Keith Elwin? And look, it's all going to come up to Barry now. And I think there's a combination of like humbleness versus ego versus reality check for Barry. I don't know if he wants to be the designer and be pinball famous by making Back to the Future. I don't think he's as good as Keith Elwin. And I do think that, if Barry were smart, he'd ink a good deal, make money on every game sold. It's a win-win-win for everybody, right? Everybody wins that way. So I just think, I think that would be the way I would do it, but it's in his court. It's in his court. I know that every company would love to have the license. All right. So we got Robert. I'm going to read the names. Robert Caccini. Hopefully I'm saying your names right. Joe Fiore, Jim Bond, who's in Tokyo. See, I got to see, like, gang, you international guys, like, I don't know if they can ship internationally. I know Hector's on there internationally. So we'll have to figure this out, but I didn't exclude anybody who was not in the, who was global. All right. So like there's that. I don't know if there's anyone on here from Australia. So we've got Jerry Benny, Richard Harris McLaughlin, Kevin Smeenge, Steve Dobbins, Tyson Hoffman, Brian Millard, Chris Greeny, Zach Bootcamp, Keith Gallacy. If I butchered your names, people, sorry. I mean, it's Glenn Hansen, Ryan Heath, Adam Greer, Hector Castrejón, Hector, Patrick Oles, Willie Mitley, Ray Ganbari, Nick Sagan, Mike Donk, Ryan Dexter, Lawrence Levine, Adam Fresalone, Pete Rosen, Pavel P., Jay McGuire, Dean Heinrichsen, Tom Pletcher, Mike. Wait. Do we have two Heinrichsens? I thought I just said Heinrichsen. Hold on. No, Heinrichsen. Oh, there's two different names. There's a Heinrichsen and a Heinrichsen. Different area codes. Sound familiar, but they're spelled differently. All right. Dana Martin, Enzo Ventrella, Greg Jones, Pete Mano, Will Ware, Ben DeLong, Kevin Peterson, Troy Swope, Craig Roth, Jeff Epner, B. Eskandari Nahidi, Anthony Salerno, Ryan Saunders, Rodney Comges. Sorry, Rodney. It's not, it doesn't roll off the tongue. Jason Rifta, Chris Chapman, and Marty Robbins. No, Marty Robbins is not on this list. Marty Robbins is watching a movie right now doing A-OK. I can't believe. I mean, it's funny to me. It is funny to me that that whole thing is trying to unfold, and it's not fooling anybody. Obviously he knew what was going on with Haggis when he was shilling the Centaurs, and I just love all the revisionist history, the whitewashing of it, and as I literally just, the reason why I did the show I did about it this week is you don't get to do that. You just don't get to like mislead people when you should have known better and you did know better, and then just get like, forgiven, and you get to come back and enjoy the hobby and just act like you were just an employee that didn't know what was going on. And I think what Jeff called all of us was really unprofessional, uncalled for. And I think it just shows the true nature of some of these gentlemen. I think they have tremendous egos. I think they're very entitled, and I think they're very angry. And I think they think they're better than us. I really do. When you call people unintelligent F-heads, if you think Marty like had anything to do with like the Haggis's like collapse or knowingly misled people, come on, man. You did a show for a year where Marty dodged every single question about Haggis. And not only that, he laughed in the face of people that were concerned about Haggis Pinball and their ability to manufacture games. I think they do live in a bubble. And, I again, just had to call it like I saw it, because it's not cool. And it just was a stupid show to do. It's like, if you want Marty to come back, just come back and let him talk for himself. But to insult everybody as a way to, sort of pave the way for his return. Right? Like, I don't know, Jeff, man, that wasn't smart. Craig Roth, why do you want to join the video right now? You're not joining. I'm not having a guest on right now. Okay. It makes no sense. No one's joining. No one's joining. All right. Let me cut these names up as we talk. And everyone's going into the hat. Everyone has equal opportunity to win. I'm excited for each and every one of you. 46 of you are going to lose. So it is what it is. I don't know any other way to do this. I thought this was the most fair thing to do. People gave me slack for even doing this, gang. Like they're literally like, it's a marketing stunt. You're not doing any, like, come on. Like, no good deed goes unpunished in the pinball hobby, people. And I really do mean it when I say it. I think there's a lot of really awesome people in pinball. And then I think there's a lot of really, I don't know, like strange people in our hobby that really do hide behind a keyboard and just insult and, we don't know who they are. They're kind of behind their avatar names, and they don't really stand in front of their vitriol. And it gets a little tiring dealing with it. And I think there's no room for that anymore. And I think if you kind of approach your life as like, how many days can I wake up in a good mood? You're not going to wake up and curse people out on pinball forums and all that stuff. Now, that being said, if we're unintelligent F-heads because we think that, one of two employees, the guy I want to talk to is that Duck Pinball guy. All those employees that quit Haggis, they quit the company. They knew what was going on. Then why didn't Marty quit? I mean, that's really the easiest question. If everyone else saw that the house was on fire and exited the house, why didn't you? No, you stayed. You promoted the company. You convinced people to spend more money when everybody else was quitting. Okay, George Gomez is in the house. I told George to join. George, welcome to the Metallica Ellie sort of offer to a fan out there to get one at MSRP. George, welcome to the party. And George, you're right. No good deed goes unpunished. I think sometimes too, with all of what happens in pinball, and I mean this when I say it, when you take the tour of Stern and Jersey Jack and you see what goes into these games, and you see the people that make them and the amount of work and the amount of effort, and then how easy it is, right? How easy it is to unravel the joy this hobby brings everybody, because you're at home and you're unhappy and you're probably drinking and you're typing angrily. It's weird, right? It's weird. I think it makes everybody, especially at the pinball companies, sort of, reluctant to engage as much as they want to. I remember walking through Stern, and it was the day after, Jack Danger had done the initial stream of X-Men, and he was kind of all bummed out. And because they had done the stream, they were having fun with it. They dressed up in X-Men costumes, and they were having some brutal games, and the code was still early. And it just like, it wasn't the best showing. And then Jack is just like deflated because he realized, like, people are not seeing like what the magic is, and the magic is there. And so, but he just had this look like he was just destroyed. And I'm like, man, like what? Like this is your moment, like, and I can see how the community at times can weigh people down to the point where the very people that are giving everything they have to making people happy are just exhausted and feeling like they never win. So it's something interesting for all of us to think about. And I struggle with this all the time on this show. I think my show's been an ever evolving journey, to give constructive criticism or feedback. And I think when you do give constructive feedback, it's delivered without curses, without personal attacks. And I think when you give constructive feedback, it should be clear that you're giving this feedback on the game because you want to see the games get better, and you have a thought on how they could possibly improve the games or the marketing around pinball, right? I have a lot of thoughts on that. I have a lot of thoughts on, these LEs and again, but when you approach it where you're trying to help, I want Jersey Jack Games to get better by integrating the clips in a better way. We know it can be done, right? Stern did it with Jaws, Wise Avatar, all muted, right? And I mean that, like, I really like Mark Seiden. I think he's a great guy. I'm just perplexed how nobody gave that feedback internally over there. But I'm not going to blame or be angry. I just not the way I would have done it. All right. So we've got all these names, George, going into a hat. This is the hottest game in pinball in a long time. I think Metallica Ellie is the hottest launch I've seen since Godzilla. When Godzilla came out, a little history lesson for all of you out there. it was $10,500, right? George, cover your ears. How was Stern able to make that game with all that stuff for 10,500? And John Wick with half as much in it is $2,500 more. But see, it was kind of like that last 10-5 game. And it was like awesome. I mean, it's not just me saying this. Godzilla is ranked on the top 100 as number one, right? So the number one game of all time, ranked by the community, came out at a great price. And like we used to complain 10K by Christmas. Remember when that was the joke? Now it's like 18K by Christmas with this Metallica. So it's like it came out at 10.5. They made 1,000 of them. They sold out. No, it wasn't impossible to get one. Like you could, when they make 1,000, you can call around and get one. But here's what happened to Godzilla. That was right before COVID. Remember when the lockdown happened, right? And the supply shortage happened. Godzilla's instantly, like within a few months, a Godzilla Ellie, after we realized, oh my gosh, this game is everything. Like it's got the moments, it's got the assets, it's got the personality, it's got the mechs, it's got the humor, it's got the mod community's gone crazy. Like it was amazing to watch how everyone rallied around Godzilla, right? Rallied around the game. I think the only controversy at launch was, does Godzilla look like a watermelon? And maybe a little bit, maybe Zombie Eddie Don't Kill Me, maybe a little bit watermelon-y. But, we all got over that because it just looked great. And when you stood over a Godzilla and you played it, I think it reminded everybody what they love so much about pinball. And it had personality, the way you could change the audio to be in Japanese. Godzilla is just perfect. It is a perfect example of translating a theme into a pinball game where there's George, you always used to say this, there's got to be 3 interesting things to shoot at. It has that. It's got to have call outs that get your energy going. It has that. When a multi-ball starts, it has this energy, right? And when Avatar multi-ball starts, Gag, it's you literally are I feel like I'm in church. I feel like when they're Hallelujah Mountain multi-ball, it's there's no energy. There's no energy. Everyone should go study how Addams Family and Metallica sort of get you going. I do need help, Killian. All right, here we go, Killian. We've got 5 minutes, though. Give me 5 minutes, and then you're going to pick the winning name out of this Canada hat, and I'm going to call the number, and here's how it's going to work. You need to pick up the phone to win this spot, right? Not the game. I'm not buying you a game for $13,000. You will win this spot. I know there was some confusion there. Not going to give you a free game, but this is going to be super fun. And Killian is going to be the decider of somebody's fate. And gang, look, I hope whoever wins this, I just want to say this. I hope you don't sell it. I hope you really entered this because you are a Metallica fan. And I want to say thank you to everyone that reached out and shared your personal stories about Metallica. Some of you had babies wearing Metallica clothing. You had game rooms filled with Metallica artwork. And, you really are in love with the band. And I think that to me is how every music pin should be, right? It's I always say this, out of all the pinball machines that have been made over the last 10 years, music fans have really had it the best. I mean, if you love AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, if you love Foo Fighters, if you love Elton John, if you love Iron Maiden, if you love, what am I missing? I said AC/DC, if you love, heck, Kiss. I even think Aerosmith, talk about an awesome toy in a game. If you love those acts, you love the pinball machines. And the thing about music pins that I think make it easier to get, to get it right is because the one thing you just have to do is play the damn music, right? It's not like stuff physically is missing that you want it in the game, where a movie and TV show is different. Because when you make a pinball machine based on a movie, there's physical things you want to see in there. So if you make Back to the Future, you got to have a DeLorean where the doors go up, right? Or the clock tower. You got to have a hoverboard. You got to have maybe a Pepsi Perfect coming up from underneath the play field. There's certain things where like, oh, if it doesn't have this, it's not connecting to the theme the right way. But music, just hit them with it and then do fun stuff. Killian, you getting ready, buddy? Hold on. We got 3 minutes to go. Mama, I need your phone. And then we're going to do this. I'm cutting up all the names. And we're almost got everybody in the hat. I think one of the coolest, when I look at Guns N' Roses and Slash's involvement with that game, it's absolutely like, it's a rare thing. And I tell this to people, Slash made this game. Hold on. Don't touch any of the names, buddy. I don't want killing you. Why do you have mittens on? Here, come on, buddy. I'm going to get you up here. We're going to interview for you for a little bit. Okay. Are you ready to talk? You want to tell Mr. Gomez what you think about his Ellie? His Ellie? Hold on. Gang, we got 4 more to cut up. Then we're going to get Killian in on the lap. Brendan, can I have the phone, please? Don't touch. Killian, I like your gloves, your mittens. Okay, is this everybody? Okay, so I want you guys to see this. All the names are going in. Oh, I just knocked that over. All right, here we go. We're back.
Well, all the names going in.
Okay, the names, buddy, are going to go into the hat, and we're going to pick. Brenda's handing me her phone. All the names are going in. Okay, so we're going to drop them all in. I'm going to move it around, and we're going to let Killian pick one out. I wish I could give 47 people Metallica Ellie. George, we'll talk. I think Stern doing a lottery like this would be a lot of fun. And I think it would be a moment. I think you make the Stern lottery. You get Seth there and Gary and George with the big, everyone gets their name on a ball. And we pull out like 10 names, like make it like an NBA draft lottery where you're in the draft and we can figure out different ways where you can increase the amount of odds of winning. I think it'd be a lot of fun. All right, Killian, here we go. You ready? I don't know why my boy has, it is 11 o'clock. We're not missing any names. Come here. Come on, sit up here.
Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
Yeah. All right.
Stop it.
Killian, how much do you think a pinball machine should cost?
$1.
$1? Okay. So we've just put Stern Pinball and everybody else out of business. Killian, do you like Metallica? Okay, that's good. All right, Killian, you're going to pick out of your hat, this Canada hat, you're going to pick a name, all right? Now I want you to, we're going to move the names around. I'm not looking. All right. I want you to pick, one fell out. Good job, Brendan. Put it back in. One fell out. All right. Okay. You ready? All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Just pick one. Just one. Okay. Don't show me who it is. All right. We have one in hand. All right. Now we are going to call. Killian, I want you, when I call this number, to say you won. Okay. Can you do that? All right. We're going to call right now. Taking mommy's phone. This is fun, right? It's fun. This Killian doesn't come cheap. His hourly rate is about 10 times mine. He brings a level of adorableness to this. And we're going to see if we have a winner.
He's just loving his own reflection right now.
All right. Okay, here we go. Okay.
What are you going to say?
Say, you won.
Mr. President?
You won.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm so stoked.
All right. So our winner, I know 46 people right now are like staring at their cell phones. Pavel P.
Pavel P.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now, Pavel, where are you from?
I want to Pavel, where are you?
Where are you from?
Well, waiting.
Don't scream. Okay, doing it. Where are you from, Pavel?
I am from Delaware.
Okay. And are you a big Metallica fan?
Huge. Absolutely huge.
So,
I am for
Killian, careful. Are you okay? So tell us, like, have you been a Metallica fan since the 80s, 90s? How much do you love them?
I love Metallica as much as the next guy. I saw Metallica back in the late 80s. I didn't even really know who they were.
All right. What's your favorite album?
Because I was nothing but a pop guy at the time, it wasn't until Load came out.
Fireman.
They sold out and cut their hair.
Yeah.
And everyone hated them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this guys.
I feel like the Black Album, right, with Enter Sandman was like, what, 91? And that was really when, like, the old fan base was sort of like they're selling out with more, you know, mainstream hits. But that's, I think, when a lot of people like just fell in love with the band. Well, Pavel, here's the deal. You're going to keep this game, right? You're not going to flip it. You're not going to scalp it, right?
Nope.
Okay, so we're going to check in, Pavel. We're going to check in every, like, 6 months and just want to see a photo of it in that game room. How's that sound? All right. And I will, Pavel, I will connect with you after this and I'll get you all the details on how to, you know, get the game paid for and sent to you. But congratulations. And thank you for everyone who participated in this drawing. Again, I wish I had more games to give away to all of you, but we'll keep doing this. This is a lot of fun. And then you're not going to back out because the last time we did this was James Bond Ellie and everybody backed out. But this is good. This is good. Pavel, I'm happy we can make your Saturday morning a special one.
I skipped the gym for this.
Oh, all right. Well, go hit the gym now and play some Metallica and hit it hard.
That goes against everything you ever said. No pinball, go to the gym.
Yeah. I always say, like, if people did as many push-ups as words they posted on Pinside, this whole hobby would be ripped. Like, it's amazing to me. All right, Pavel. Well, thank you very much. I'm super excited for you, and I can't wait for you to get the game.
Well, thank you, Killian.
Killian, say thank you.
Thank you.
You say you're welcome. Okay. See you, Pavel.
All right, thanks.
All right. All right. Well, that was great. You know, look, I feel like I want to, like, should I give one other number and give a t-shirt? I don't even have t-shirts to give. I don't know more merchandise. They took all my merchandise down. Look, Pavel, I'm super happy for you. For all of you who are in the running, thank you for sharing your stories of Metallica. I know everybody. Give me this baby. Hold on a second. There's one more. Here we go. Okay.
Mommy,
See,
what's
this
that?
sweet child of mine is the future. You know,
Mommy,
I keep telling this to everybody. This is the future of pinball. Are the people with children who are going to get bit by the pinball bug, right? I mean, you're going to play pinball, right? Yeah, of course you're going to play pinball. His head looks like a pinball. It is completely round and it's absolutely adorable. Are you doing all right? He's so chill. Like, he's the easy one. You know, it's Killian that's like all the energy and making everything go nuts in our house every day. All right. Sweet child of mine. See, he's got his Guns N' Roses t-shirt on. All right, get him out of here. There we go. The future of pinball podcasting right there. Everybody, look, I'm super happy that we did this. I'm thankful too that a lot of you sort of helped me see clearly why flipping the game was not the right thing to do. And, you know, look, it's going to happen. Look, if there weren't scalpers, gang, there'd be no chance for some of you to get the game once it does sell out. So, you know, when you look at the price of a Taylor Swift concert ticket, you know, paying a few thousand over for this masterpiece of a game isn't so bad. I think there's a lot of good momentum coming out of this game. And I think, you know, the whole hobby has gone, like, you know, it's gone in different directions over COVID. I think we're all back now. We're all kind of, I think, appreciating life on a new level now that we've been through the pandemic. If you've been to shows, I highly recommend going to a show. It's a lot different. For those of you who went to Expo, toured the different manufacturers, met the community, the amount of good energy and good vibes that were coming out of that show, I don't know, it made me feel re-energized about pinball. And I know it made a lot of you feel that same way. And I do encourage everybody, you know, just to tune down the forums. You know, a lot of noise and echo chamber happening on Pinside that I don't think is really reflective of the positivity that's in this hobby. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't some like spreading pinball positivity show. It never will. Like, I am going to call it as I see it. Like, there are good games and there are bad games, and there's good quality and there's bad quality, and there's real talent in pinball. And then there's, I think, just some people figuring it out as they go. Everybody, look, we've had a really fun show. I kind of want to end it on a high note. Thank you, Mr. Gomez, for hanging out. Thank you for all the work you do over at Stern Pinball. And thank you to all the manufacturers that actually give us enough to discuss, right? Without games coming out, what would we talk about, right? We'd still be like, if it wasn't for these guys, we'd be talking about HEP restored Theater of Magics and how much is it going to go up? Like, you know, I know, like there's a lot of new stuff happening in pinball that is so exciting. We've got Spike 3 around the corner. We've got Harry Potter coming. We've got Back to the Future coming. We've got maybe King Kong, maybe Fallout, right? Stuff. I love speculating what's around the corner, because even when you know like what some of these themes are, you still, it gets your imagination going. And I mean this when I say it. You know, in a world of Gen Z kids that are all lonely and miserable and not happy, it's because they're not imagining stuff. They're not dreaming of things. They're not in hobbies. They're just looking at vapid content all day long that does nothing to make them feel a part of something. And I always say this, like, this community is the elixir to the #1 problem in the world, which is loneliness. Like, that is the pandemic that a generation is struggling with. And as long as we have these products and each other, I never feel alone in pinball. In fact, like at any hour, I can hang out with people from all over the world, whether we Skype or we do this. You put up a message on a Patreon chat and people are in it. Yeah, buddy. Okay, he put some more stuff in a hat. These are just blank pieces of paper. Thank you, buddy. Okay, thank you for the more letters. I appreciate that. So everybody, have a great day. I love doing this. Thank you for all the support. All you club members, you know who you are. And if you're not a member of the Canada Club, you know we would love to have you. It's $5 a month. I just went and got 2 bags of Dunkin' Donuts ground coffee beans for $20. That's a third of the year of Canadian Pinball Podcast. Everybody be good. We'll talk to you soon. And again, congrats to Pavel. I will, Kelly, what are you doing? What are you doing? Have a great Saturday and go Yankees. What a devastating loss last night. I'm up all night watching it. Great game. We just had to close out the bottom of the 10th and that grand slam. All right, everything's in there. Good job, everybody. Canada out. See you guys. Be good. Happy Saturday. Enjoy this fall day. Bye.
Mommy, what is this
Oh, that note, sweetheart, please don't hold it around. Killian, listen to me, please. Put it down. Listening ears, please. Mummy needs to clean the outside of it because it's absolutely disgracefully dirty. And Mummy needs to clean Cass's. You need to clean your playpen too. I know, Mummy.
That was great.
Killian.
Thank you, buddy.
It's almost time for a nap, honey.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Time's a napping today.
It's getting so.
Watch that popcorn. Oh, that class is over flying.
Okay.
Okay. It's getting super heavy. Yeah. It's super heavy. Daddy, it's getting